Welcome, welcome! It's Mud Dog with the Texas Space Navy bringing you another Star Citizen video. And as you can see, I'm going to be doing tracker license missions today. And I'm going to take out the Gladius Pirate Edition. So I'm running this thing with a full stealth build and 3 Panther repeaters. I had a lot of fun doing these. I have been wanting to take the Gladius out with 314, and I have not done so until today, and it was a treat. This is definitely going to be probably in my top 3 fighters of 314. So it's definitely up there. The Hurricane, of course, with a gunner is pretty dang solid. But this thing has so much more maneuverability. It's just nasty. I really love the way that this thing flies in these missions. So on this first tracker mission, this is a medium tracker mission, or a medium CRT or whatever it is, MRT, whatever you want to call it. Anyways, I did not utilize all the tools at my capability when it comes to flying against these opponents. Again, I was kind of trying to just test out the Gladius, see where it was at. So I did some very basic combat maneuvers in this MRT. What do I mean by basic? Well, I really didn't do a lot of strafing. It was more of a jousting type combat, as you can see. I did start to do some strafing towards the middle and end of this sequence. But it being NPC opponents, they're not going to be very strong when it comes to dogfighting right now. Not nearly as good as PC or player characters are. As you can see, they launched some missiles. I put some countermeasures out there to kind of dodge that. One of the things you notice, or if you're watching, is that I've got all my power into weapons. So I hit that F5 key a bunch of times until I had 100% into weapons. It makes the recharge rate of my lasers much quicker, and it gives me a little higher capacity when it comes to using those Panther repeaters, which is really necessary when you're dogfighting against multiple opponents, or even against a really strong shielded single opponent. So that's what I'm using right now. As you can see, my shields haven't really gone down because I haven't taken a lot of hits. If I were to have taken a lot of hits, I probably would have gotten all my power into shields and let them recharge. And let me tell you, they recharge really fast when you do that. But keep in mind, there is a delay before that happens. So you need to be running if you take so much damage that your shields are down. And it can happen very quickly, so you have to keep your eye on that. As you can see, I didn't have to switch at all in any of these certifications, actually. So you didn't really get to see me switch to shields. One of the things you're going to notice in the next fight is how I also utilize Decoupled. If you didn't know, there's 2 different flight modes in Star Citizen. There's a coupled flight mode, which is default. What coupled flight mode is that the computer would try to simulate a way to keep you going, or I guess to say, what's the best way to put it? Other people have put it much better than I'm trying to right now. See, I am decoupled right now. So the way Newtonian physics works in space, you know, you thrust one direction, you're going to just keep going that direction forever until some sort of force acts upon you, or you put some sort of counter thrust on. That's what decoupled mode is. And it's actually a lot of fun to fly in decoupled mode once you get the hang of it. I used to do this all the time in a previous flight model, and I had a lot of control over it. Needless to say, when the flight model changed, so did my mastery of decoupled flying. Although it feels like it's in a much better place in 314, if I want to be honest with you. I like where decoupled flight is in 314 right now. If you go into coupled mode, your computer flight systems are going to try to automatically fire retro thrusters to get you to where you want to go quicker, if that makes any sense. So if I don't apply any thrust forward, I'm using dual joysticks, so if I don't apply any thrust forward with my left joystick, I'm not going to go anywhere in coupled mode. I could thrust forward and then let go of the joystick, and it's going to pop back to the center position, and my retro thrusters are also going to fire to slow me down to 0. Whereas if I'm in decoupled mode, I would continue flying the direction I had thrust or put thruster 2. Okay, I know that sounds confusing probably, but decoupled mode can be very handy in dogfights. I haven't had it bound to my joystick in the last 2 patches, just because for some reason it didn't go over with my keybinds. So I decided to go ahead and keybind it, especially if I'm using a nimble little fighter like the Gladius, and it does make a huge difference in these fights. You're able to stay on target a lot longer. You're able to kind of counter their jousting a little bit, although I would suggest other ways of countering jousting as well. If you're one-on-one, you know, that's a brilliant way to do it. That's the best way to do it, is to decouple. You know, it's going to be the most effective way, I should say. Also, decoupled mode won't use as much hydrogen fuel unless you are pegging your, you know, thrusters all the way up, because then it's going to fire them hard and, you know, burn a lot of fuel quickly. Whereas in coupled mode, you're going to be using thrusters and retro thrusters all the time, so it should use quite a bit of fuel. So here you see I'm tangling with a Valkyrie, and this is the HRTs, or the harder version, not the very hard. That'll be next. But this is the HRT licensing mission, where I'm going up against a Valkyrie, and then, oh, what else do I have to fight in this? I think it's another Gladius, and I don't know. You'll see after this, I'm sure. But as you can see, I am trying to utilize different tactics against this guy as he fires on me. One good way to get out of a firing line that somebody has you in is to strafe up or down. Not a lot of people use that. Well, I'd say more experienced dogfighters will definitely use that, but not a lot of basic dogfighters tend to strafe up or down. So definitely utilize those keybinds for strafing, because it'll help you get out of the line of fire, and it'll take them a little while to adjust to where you're at. You just saw some desync there. It's still a problem in the game, very much so. I was actually trying to do something crazy today to, you know, test out some mechanics, and desync was a real issue with that, because my ship kept moving. A whole nother story. We'll get to that some other day. But here you can see I was able to actually dispatch this HRT quicker than the MRT licensure. And I did lose my shields at the end of that battle, so I had to boost them back up before going into this VHRT licensure battle. So in this one, I actually have to fight 3 Valkyries that are fully crewed. Did not expect that, just because it's been a while since I've done these. But, you know, it's not too bad in a Gladius running against all these Valkyries if you know, are applying different dogfighting, you know, tools. So you see, I do take some shots from a couple of the Valkyries on my shields, and it didn't really do a whole lot to the shields at that point. I do have all my power into weapons on the power triangle still. So, you know, I definitely wanted to keep an eye on my shields, because, you know, you're facing off against 3 opponents that have multiple weapons. You know, that's something to keep an eye on at all times when you're fighting. But you also have to look at positioning, distance, all of that. You got 2 guys running at you right now at the same time. You know, how do you want to position? You know, I would try normally to, especially if it's player characters, is to get one behind the other, to where they really can't get an open shot or an easy shot on me. And, you know, when in doubt, run away and, you know, get some distance before you re-engage. That's what I would say, especially with death of a spaceman coming in, you know, running away is going to be a tactic that, you know, could save your character. So you're going to want to do that in certain fights, especially if you're taking damage. No sense in staying in. There's no honor if you're not alive, right? So run away, rebuild your shields, and then get back in the fight, or, you know, just get away. There's nothing wrong with getting away if you don't want to take that fight. So I am going to use a missile here against this Valkyrie. It does get a good hit on it. I just wanted to, you know, get that kill a little quicker. I've already gone through a couple of them. Why not, you know, get that other kill by using a missile? Missiles can hit, guys. I know there's a misnomer that missiles suck, but they really don't. They can definitely get the job done, so make sure you use them. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Make sure to hit the like button and subscribe button. I really appreciate you guys tuning in once again. Check out my Patreon and YouTube members down below in the description of the video. Let me know what kind of videos you want to see next. I'm Mud Dog with the Texas Space Navy. I'll see you out in the verse.